Meanwhile, Alabama is undefeated, headed to the SEC championship game to face Florida. But they have a little tune-up this weekend. Bama laying 32 at Arkansas on Saturday. And Nick Saban, by the way, for the first time at Alabama, has covered 6 straight. Florida also laying a big number, 23 at the Swamp. Gators 6-1-1 against the spread as a favorite of at least 20 under Dan Mullen. So, again, SEC championship looming over a week away. Here with ESPN Analytics insider Brad Edwards. Stanford Steve returns as well. Brad, would you be concerned at all about Alabama looking ahead to that SEC championship game, perhaps a letdown here against Arkansas?
I would be. I think it was a few weeks ago, Doug, I told you I was concerned about Alabama not being motivated against Kentucky, and I don't think they were motivated against Kentucky. They still beat them by 60. They're just that good right now. You made the comment on your podcast this week. That's just not a train I would want to get in front of, and I think that's a great way to describe the way Alabama's playing. According to FPI, the most dominant team relative to the season it's playing in since FPI began tracking this stuff 15 years ago. So they're playing really well. Like you said, they're on a roll against the spread, too, with 6 straight. I wouldn't take a chance, but I don't know why they'd be excited to play.
Yeah, and you've told me at times, too, there might be a time in the second half where they just pull guys out to keep them from getting hurt for the next week's SEC title game. Steve, where do you stand on the Crimson Tide here?
Totally agree with what Brad's saying as far as Bama and how good they are. I understand the idea about having a monster game next week. I still think they have the goods to go out and score plenty of points here. And on the other side, I have a little trust here in Kendall Bryce. I think they did a really good job with Arkansas's offense. So if I was going to play anything in this game, it would be over 68.5. I think Arkansas has the goods to score points, and maybe that back door is open late, but I still think you're getting Alabama's offense as good as they've been, and an Arkansas scheme that's probably been the most improved offense in the league, but I'll let an analytics insider answer that because he definitely knows it. I will go over 68.5 in this game.
Well, Arkansas has impressed a lot of people. I think their win total was 1.5 this year.
Yeah.
Went over that real early in the season. Brad, similar situation for Florida LSU. I know the Tigers, it's been that kind of season for them. Any concern for the Gators in a letdown spot here?
I mean, yeah, you would say the same thing about Florida. On the other side, LSU is a ship taken on water. I know it's been a bad season since the very first game, but it's getting worse. Obviously, there have been more injuries. You had an opt-out of leading receiver Terrace Marshall last week. This week, Eric Gilbert, their tight end, who was arguably their best remaining threat in the passing game, he's now out. I just don't know what LSU has that's going to generate points, even against a Florida defense that hasn't been that good all year. At the same time, though, Florida offensively, after being lights out, just right out of the blocks for the first 6 games, scoring almost 28 points per first half, really has slowed down over the last 3 games, taking them a little bit longer to put away some weak opponents. They're still winning comfortably, but you worry about their slow starts. If you're thinking first half, if you're thinking game, you worry about that back door because, like you said earlier, same thing as Alabama. As soon as you know the game's in hand with that big game next week, you want to get starters out as soon as you can.
Steve, I know we were talking about Trask, and you liked him to win the Heisman. Obviously, he's one of the co-favorites now. This Florida team has been rolling, but to Brad's point, a little inconsistent at times. What do you expect in this game against LSU here?
Well, a couple things. Brad's totally right. You can't trust anything. I have no idea what to expect from LSU in this game. I liked the over in the Alabama-LSU game last week, but I couldn't give it out because I didn't trust what LSU was going to do. I have no idea what to expect. They have totally gone away for any motivation in the season. Brad mentioned the guys. I'm not calling them opting out. When you play 9-10 weeks and then you decide to not play, you quit. You're not opting out. You were good enough for the first 9 weeks. There is some bad blood in this series. These two schools don't like each other. So I think Mullen's crazy enough. If I had to lean anything, like I said, I don't trust LSU to have anything to do in this game. I would lay to 23 if I had to pick this game at anything. I think Florida has the goods to put one on here.
It's amazing. A year ago, we were talking about LSU having one of the most, maybe best offenses ever college football history. Now they have 2 freshman quarterbacks.
They're already saying they'll always have 2019.
Hey,
yeah,
Doug,
Brad,
I'll throw this out there. According to FPI, LSU is 22 points worse than they were at the end of last season. Of the 15 years we've tracked this, there's only one Power 5 team that's had a bigger one-season fall. That was Louisville the year after they had to replace Lamar Jackson.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.